Well, good evening, everybody. How are we doing? It is exactly 8:30, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. My name is Albert Muir, and I'll be spending the next few minutes giving you a Kivana presentation. Let me get my cell phone shut off right now. Okay, so we don't hear that, and it's not disruptive or anything. Anyway, so I'm going to introduce you to a company called Kivana. But before we get started, what I would like to do is just share a couple things with you because something has come to light for me that I did not know about our industry up until just about a year ago, and I've actually been involved in the industry now for 5 years. And tonight I'm going to tell you some things, but the things I'm going to tell you are actually facts. And a lot of people, when they hear these facts, they get very excited. What I'm going to promise you over the next 35 minutes is I'm not going to do anything to try to give you any kind of hype. We're not going to be playing any loud music. There will be no dancing girls or anything of that sort. What I'm going to do is I'm just merely going to share some facts with you. And what's going on here is you've been invited to this presentation right now, and you've been invited to show you how you could actually become financially free and live a healthier life, either or both at the same time, and to become financially free in 3 to 5 years or less. Now, if we want to become financially free, let's take a look at how the rich do it. I think we could all agree, without any hype or anything, that this is basically how the rich do it. They have multiple streams of income coming in. Most of that income is passive or residual income, or they own several companies or one huge company and they leverage the efforts of others, or they have compounding investments. The other thing that they do, which is really, really smart, and people that don't own their own business cannot take advantage of this. They have tax write-offs. And I'm going to show you here tonight, just by being involved in Kivana, is that you could have an average household instant tax savings of $2,000 to $5,000 a year. So I ask you this, would you rather pay $7,000 in taxes this year, or would you rather just pay $2,000 because you could save $5,000 just by being involved in Kivana? Excuse me, bless me. Anyway, being involved in Kivana gives you immediate tax write-offs like your car, cell phone, eating out, utilities, internet, home, my favorite, travel, even the actual purchase of your products. So you get tax savings that will actually pay for your products, plus you profit with less taxes to pay. So that's another thing that the rich take advantage of is several tax write-offs. They actually keep the money in their pocket instead of sending it into the IRS. Now, let's look at another fact. This is why the non-rich fell. Because they work paycheck to paycheck. They just have one income coming in, and there's nothing passive. If they don't get up and go to work that month, there will be no income coming in. They buy liabilities instead of assets, so they live in crushing debt, and there's no investments that will compound. Well, if you know anything about this famous book right here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki, he made a follow-up book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. And in this book, the non-rich started to understand that there are 4 quadrants, and we're all in one of these 4 quadrants. And if you want to get out of the non-rich quadrants and become rich, they understand that they have to cross over, and they got to start either owning companies or start saving money to have compounding investments, which is not an easy thing to do. Now, this invitation that I'm giving you here tonight, which is something I didn't even know up until 1 year ago, is actually endorsed for you by some of the world's most successful people. Now, 1 year ago, I was reading the Wall Street Journal, and there was actually an insert in there, and you can see that that's at the bottom of the page. And it said, "Why now is prime time for direct selling?" Well, if you know anything about the history of direct selling, Avon was the very first company in 1885. Since then, there have been approximately 70,000 companies that have popped up in the USA since 1885. Well, some of these companies have got so big and so popular that they're actually publicly traded on the stock exchange. What I did not know is that from March of 2009, and listen to the time period I'm giving you, March of 2009 to May 2011, during that 2-year period when the economy was basically tanking, the 7 top publicly traded companies that were direct sales companies, their stock increased by 268%. That's phenomenal performance over that 2-year period. Well, Warren Buffett knew about it because he was heavily invested into several of those companies. If you've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, his latest CD is titled The Perfect Business, talking about our industry. Donald Trump was just recently asked, Donald, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do? Do you know what his answer was? I would get into network marketing. Bill Gates gave the exact same answer to the same question. So what is it that these people know, that they know now that we don't know? Well, I think a lot of it has to do with this. They realize that every one of us has what we call a money clock. You see, everybody has a money clock. And that money clock, it resets on the first day of the month. The question you have to ask yourself is, where does your money clock reset every month? You see, September 1 was just 4 short days ago. When you woke up on September 1 and you looked up at the ceiling and you said, you know what? My money clock just reset to 0. Because if I don't get up and go to work this month, I have no money coming in. It's 0. So you get up and you go to work, and let's say that you even make, up to $1,000 a week. After week 1, your money clock is now up to 1,000. After week 2, it's 2,000. After week 3, it's 3,000. But unfortunately, on October 1, your money clock is going to reset at $0. Well, there are some of us in Kivana that started a few weeks ago, and for a week that we previously did, when they woke up on September 1, the answer for them was not 0. They have residual income coming in. And some of them looked up at the ceiling and they said, you know what? My money clock just reset at $500 for the month. Whether I get out of bed or not, I know that I'm going to have $500 coming in this month. Some of us, we woke up on September 1 and the answer to that question was $1,000. Some of us woke up and the answer to that question was $10,000. Now, when we help you, because you're not going to be in this by yourself, when we take you by the arm and we lead you down this path and we help you start resetting your money clock at something other than 0, when we get you to $10,000 a month, we're actually going to put a star beside that. Because when that happens, that is going to put you in the top 1% of the world. And I want you to sit back and I want you to think what that would be like. You don't even get out of bed that month. You don't even get out of bed. And you still have $10,000 showing up in your household before you even get out of bed to go to work that month. And there was even a couple of us that on September 1, we said, you know what? For work that we've already done previously in the past, whether we go to work this month or not, our money clock will reset at over $20,000. And we would like to take you on this ride with us. So before I start with the Kivana presentation, I want to announce to you that what we have here in our hands is a black swan. So I really want to catch your attention with this. What is a black swan? A black swan is a company that comes along at just the right time. It has a revolutionary, innovative, unique idea that is just going to capture all of the market share and maybe capture the market share worldwide, like some of these famous companies you see right here. The best example I can give you that people can easily relate to, because it's non-technical, is that Apple, a few short years ago, invented the iPod. Until that point, Sony had the music industry on lockdown. I mean, Sony was the go-to place for the whole music industry. Well, they were asleep at the wheel. Apple comes along in the middle of the night. They have a revolutionary, innovative, unique idea called the iPod, and they stole the whole world market share from right under Sony's eye. What I'm going to be introducing you tonight to is we have 3 systems that are being announced at the right time. They're revolutionary, they're innovative, and they're unique. I mean, I'm going to ask you this question, which it's a very rhetorical question. A few years ago, how would you have liked to have been sitting in the Apple boardroom with them announcing, we are going to introduce the iPod to the world in a couple weeks? Are you in or out? Because that's the question I'm going to be asking you tonight. We have the worldwide rights to 3 systems that are going to take the world by storm over the next couple years. So the company, the black swan that I'm introducing you to, is a company called Kivana. It is a pharmaceutical natural products company and a pharmaceutical grade, and we'll talk more about why we have that subtitle. These are our 5 founders. Now, 4 out of our 5 founders have built 3 of the largest direct sales company the world has ever seen. The 5th gentleman, he is actually the CEO of Kivana, and his name is Derek Hall. Derek Hall was the chief sales officer for McKesson. If you know anything about McKesson, you know they are the largest pharmaceutical company in the world by far. After his 10 years of being the chief sales officer, taking that company from $10 billion to $23 billion in annual sales, he said to the board of directors, let's start a nutraceutical division. They said no. He actually left and he became the president and CEO of Nature's Way. And he's the person that actually put Nature's Way on the map. When he walked through the doors, they didn't even think they could keep their doors open. And 3 years later, he had them at 125 million in annual sales. If you know anything about Nature's Way, they are now the second largest retailer in the world of natural products. He was also CEO and principal of Integrative Therapeutics. If you walk into a Whole Foods store, you will see Nature's Way and Integrative Therapeutics all over all the shelving space there. Derek Hall has built some of the world's largest natural retail products that have spanned the globe. Now, at Kivana, we deliver wellness. Because sometimes I sit down with people, it's far and few between. They say, you know what, Albert? I got a good money clock. I'm all set for life. Well, but they also look at me and go, you know what? I can't enjoy the money if I don't have perfect health. So I want to look at Kivana, because I want to live a longer, healthier, more vibrant life. Some of them have arthritis, some of them have heart conditions. So we can help anybody with any of these conditions. So we deliver wellness in more than one way. You just have to ask yourself which one of these is important to you, or a couple of the same importance. And with Kivana, we're a different kind of company, because if you take traditional businesses like manufacturers like Pfizer or EAS or Metrex, well, what do? Well, they spend millions and millions on TV and radio advertising. Then they send it to retail distributors like GNC, CVS. They make their markup. The customer comes along. They pay for all three circles. Well, at Kivana, we research, develop, and manufacture every single product ourselves, and we send it directly to the customer. Now, the customer gets paid the money for the advertising, so that helps keep the money locally instead of the money being sent out of your local area. And the result is that the customers are actually getting a higher quality product at the same price. So let's talk about our company growth. When people in the industry realized that these five gentlemen had come together under the same roof, it caused a lot of excitement. It caused so much excitement that they actually broke the industry record. Day one sales was 1.3 million. That is an all-time industry record right there. Since that day, they have had continued double-digit percentage growth each and every month. And we opened 3 years ago, right in the middle of a recession. So obviously quarter two of 2012 broke another record for revenues, and everything else is just following through. Some of our other success is this. In the state of Utah, if you know anything about the direct sales industry, you know that that's where all the corporate headquarters are. So we're competing against everybody in our industry, basically. Well, in Utah, in the year 2011, for all companies under 5 years old, we were number 3 in 2011. We were also rated as one of the top 11 companies. We were number 11 for top 20 natural health product companies in 2011. The revenue sharing concept, because people will ask me all the time, well, Albert, what do I got to do to get my money clock off of zero and at least get it to $1,000 a month? And I tell them the answer is really simple. We just merely refer customers to shop with Kivana. And what do our customers get? Well, they get great products at great prices. Because we have such a great product at such a great price, which I'll be introducing you to in a second, we have about a 94% reorder rate, which means if I have 100 customers in the month of August that placed an order, I know that about 94 of them are going to place another order in the month of September. And each time they shop, the person who referred them and others are going to earn a residual income. All we're asking people to do is this. We're just asking people, look, just simply switch stores. This is all I want you to do, Bob. Just for 1 month. I want you to not pick up stuff in CVS, GNC, and Vitamin World. I just want you to try my Kivana store. If you like my store, you go ahead and stay with it. If you don't like my store, just go back to where you were. That's all I'm asking you to do. Simply switch some of your shopping to Kivana. It's no new dollars required. And in some cases, it even reduces people's monthly budget. I'm going to introduce you to 3 research scientist doctors. Now, Derek Hall, when he was at McKesson, met 2 of these gentlemen. I could spend the next 6 hours talking about these three gentlemen right here, all their credentials, everything. As you get to know Kivana, you'll start to realize the caliber of gentlemen that these guys are. However, right now, I'm just going to assure you that they are considered by everybody in the world. They are the best in their field, bar none. And I'll give you a perfect example of this in 1 second. Well, the three gentlemen that we just mentioned, they developed three specialized systems to meet your nutritional needs. I just want to show you this page to show you that these weren't systems that were whipped up in a bathtub 6 months ago. The core system took Dr. Lowe 18 years to develop. The Prime NO activator, it took Dr. Horde 7 years to develop that. And the metabolic system, it took Dr. Don Layman 20 years to develop that metabolic system. So to show you who Dr. Don Layman is, 35 years ago, he became world famous in the science community. He discovered a triggering mechanism in our amino acid that speeds up our metabolism. It does all these great things. It energizes lean muscle mass. And he realized that this triggering mechanism that he had discovered starts shutting off once we turn 18 years old. And it shuts off more and more every year we get older. Well, 15 years after he makes this amazing discovery, he said, you know what, let me develop an all-natural product that'll turn this triggering mechanism on. It took him 20 years to do it, and that's what he's actually done. He's considered by everybody in the world to be the father of metabolism. He's been doing it for over 35 years at the University of Illinois. Well, the U.S. government just agreed. They just got rid of the food pyramid a couple years ago, and they've just adopted Dr. Don Layman's metabolic system as the guideline for everybody to eat in America. They realize they've made a big mistake with this food pyramid, and that Dr. Don Layman's method is actually correct. So this is Don Layman's metabolic system. There are 6 products in it because there is no magical pill for everybody. What if I want to gain muscle mass and you want to lose body fat? Well, we're going to take the 6 products in a different combination. It's a proven system, once again, backed by 30 years of research, 100 published scientific studies, double-blind study test. I mean, blood work, the whole gamut. 90-day program to correct and recharge your metabolism. That's very unique. It's the only system in the world that does that. Leading the charge in our metabolic system are our bars and our shakes. Now, our bars and shakes have 29 grams of protein in them. They're very delicious. That's what everybody's going to tell you. When you introduce them, they're going to go, oh my God, that's the best tasting shake I've ever had in my life. Tastes like a McDonald's triple shake. And they're going to tell you, it's very, very filling. And for some reason, I keep drinking these things and I keep losing body fat. It's because it turned on the leucine in their body for a period of 4 hours. That's the remarkable discovery. This is something nobody else in the world has. If somebody wanted to duplicate these 2 products right here, it would probably take them the total of 10 to 15 years to do it, and it would cost them millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. That protects us. This is not a copycat product. We have Resist and Boost. Boost is like Xenadrine or Hydroxycut, except that our Boost has no ephedra, no stimulants. It's all natural. Cayenne pepper, vitamin B6, vitamin B12. Now, our metabolic system, people eat 6 times a day. So there's no fat here. There's no counting calories. So everybody can do it. And that's one of the keys to it, and it's something that you can continue doing for the rest of your life. The most important part of this is having that 29 grams of protein for your breakfast. Number 2 and 3, you could switch. You could have the turkey sandwich first if you wanted to. Then have one of our Reese's Peanut Butter Cup tasting metabolic bars. Have a snack, have a dinner, and have another one of our delicious supplements. Eating 6 times a day, it's easy to do. Compare and save. If somebody's using my metabolic system as a weight loss system, let's compare it to everything that's on the market. Once again, now I think you can plainly see what we have in our hands. We have great products at a great price. That's a remarkable thing. That is building a business that's going to last you a lifetime. The world's leader in natural heart health solutions. We have 2 systems I'm going to talk about here real quickly. We have the core system, and we have our Prime nitric oxide activator system, because cardiovascular health is the #1 health concern in the world. Now, core system is leading the charge with our probiotic. Our probiotic is a bacteria, just like every other bacteria that's on the market. We actually use 4 strains of our healthy bacteria. What's unique about ours is we have put ours in a patented acid-resistant shell. so it can travel safely through the stomach acids. This is actually a live bacteria, and that live bacteria's got to make it to your small intestine. It's got to travel through the stomach acids to do that. So that's where it actually gets into the small intestine. That's where it opens up, and it can do its effectiveness. Essentials is the crown jewel of all of our products. Now, this has got the immortality herb in it. It took Dr. Lowe 18 years to develop this product right here. All you need to know is this. For $1.10 a day, it's like in a pixie stick. You actually open it up and you actually pour it on your tongue. And what it does for that $1.10 a day is it lowers cholesterol, lowers triglycerides, lowers blood pressure, gives you an even energy throughout the whole day, and it's probably the #1 product in the world for any type of arthritis. I love how people stop drinking coffee, they stop drinking Red Bulls because of the energy it gives them, and I love how people come up to me and they hug me and they thank me so much for introducing them to this product for when they have carpal tunnel syndrome or if they have any kind of joint function problems. It'll give you a good feeling also. Now, we also have detox and defense. Detox, proven by science for the last 7 years, has been the #1 product in the world to help the remaining Chernobyl victims and their children get the radioactive elements out of their body. Something that's a lot of testimonies are coming in right now that children with ADD, this is a very effective product with them. My favorite product in Kevon is what we're going to talk about next, defense. I travel all over the world. I'm in third world countries, drink the water, always get sick. Well, I have traveled outside the United States into third world countries 5 times since I've been in Kevana, and I've never had a single sniffle other than one sneeze I had 10 minutes ago. Now, the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1998 was awarded to these 3 gentlemen right here. They made an astonishing discovery. It was so astonishing, they actually won the Nobel Prize for it. And you can see what their discovery was. Concerning nitric oxide as a signaling molecule in the cardiovascular system. Well, why was this so important? Because once they made that discovery in 97, then everybody started to realize, wow, at the age of 40, you only produce 50% of the nitric oxide that you were producing when you were 20 years old. And if you see this graph right here, you can see at the age of 40, it's putting you in what is called the danger zone. So why is it the danger zone? Let's go see why. Because then the Mayo Clinic research, one of the most well-respected, heart places in the world, said any risk factor for cardiovascular disease is associated with the loss of nitric oxide. So when that happened, the world was flooded with nitric oxide boosters. You got NOS, NO2, everything out there since, basically 1999, 1998. The problem is they all are the same. They use one doorway and one doorway only to get your body to produce nitric oxide. And that doorway is the amino acid called L-arginine. You have to take heavy doses of it. They're finding out that long-term heavy doses of the L-arginine causes problems to the liver because it's a very complex molecule for your body to break down and process. But as it does it gets your body to produce nitric oxide. Make a long story short, we have a second doorway. And we have the only supplement in the world that uses botanicals, and it's a certain combination of the way the botanicals are put together to get your body to produce nitric oxide and to get your body within a 30-day period to start producing nitric oxide levels that you were at the age of 20. This is an important thing. This was just released to the world 5 months ago. We have the worldwide rights to this. Remember when I was talking about Apple with the iPod? Kevana Prime is going to be one of these things that's going to take the whole world by storm. Because look what nitric oxide actually does. This is an amazing thing. In 8th grade, we took health and biology class, one of the two, and we learned there that we have narrowed arteries as we get older, as you can see by this diagram on the right-hand side. What happens with that narrowed artery? Plaque starts to build up, the artery starts to get hard like a steel pipe, and the heart has to work harder to pump the blood through there, and the nutrients aren't being delivered properly. Well, nitric oxide is merely a gas, and it talks to that artery and it tells, hey, artery, just relax, expand. So it's what you call a vasodilator. Just immediately it dilates. And when it dilates that artery, it becomes more soft. It becomes more supple. More blood can flow through there. So you can only imagine all these great benefits. Look at this. We get improved circulation, maintains healthy blood pressure levels, combats premature cardiovascular aging, improves normal sexual function. For the 5 months, everybody's calling this the red Viagra for women and for men. And we're looking into all sorts of things with Alzheimer's. Two famous books that have just been written about this. Go Google nitric oxide, and you'll see that it is the buzz of the medical world. And we have a product that's 8 times better than anything else on the market, and we have the worldwide rights to it. And if you read these 2 books right here, one of the books goes on to say this. If you keep your body at optimal levels of nitric oxide, you'll never have a heart attack or a stroke. Think about that. That is amazing. Now, so how do we compare with the market that's out there? Well, if you walk into GNC, 3 of the best products you could possibly get is one called Friction, Juggernaut, and Neo. They're between $59 and $69 for a 1-month supply. My Prime is $70. If you buy 2 months of it, it's actually $65. So we developed a product that's much, much better, and we come in right what the market bears for the price. Natural products cannot make claims, but we can show you results. This is Barb Messimer right here. She was a registered nurse. Today, she is off 11 medications. Those are the 11 medications that she's off. Do you think she saved some money in copays? Do you think she just switched stores? She switched her store from going from Walgreens or CVS to Kivana. She's living a much healthier life and spending the same money that she was, or maybe even a little less. How about Cindy Helton? She's off 9 medications as of today. She was spending $450 to $500 every month on Rex copays. She spends about half that amount with Kivana. Do you see what I'm talking about? We're just getting people to switch stores where they're getting better, healthier products. Now, and this is James Morgan, who lost 60 pounds in a 90-day period on the metabolic system. We have 5 Olympic athletes that are in Kivana. If you're on this webinar tonight, these ladies and gentlemen are actually building the business. They're paid no money for endorsements or anything like that. They're actually building the business. They help us attract people. We're under their umbrella. Now, when you partner with Kivana, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a support team to help you every step of the way. You're in business for yourself, but you're not going to be by yourself. We are also the world's leader in wellness systems that are proven by science, and we're out there competing for market share, and we can do it better than anybody that's out there. You're going to earn ongoing, reliable residual income, and what you're not going to get, though, there's going to be no large investment, there's no carrying inventory, no billing, no repeat sales, and no risk, because all we're doing is asking people to look, switch stores and save. We are in a $1.9 trillion market. We opened in the United States and Canada 3 years ago, Mexico about 15 months ago. Vietnam will officially be open in February. We've already been operating there for a few months, and Germany is now in a pre-launch. I want to share a couple trends with you before I show you how we actually make the money, how we get monetized for just referring people to these great products at great prices. Well, this was the obesity rate in 1985. As you can see, wasn't that bad, you know. It's basically 10% or less. Fast forward to 2008, you know what's coming. 1 state left in the United States that's under 20%. Meanwhile, while that was happening, look at the nutritional and supplemental industry, sales in billions in the American market. It went up every single year. Did not matter what the economy was doing. You know what, folks? It comes down to this. Everybody in the world wants to feel better, and they want to look younger. Everybody strives for those 2 things. Well, meanwhile, while this was going on, and I just showed you what was going on with obesity, well, during the same time period, higher levels of cholesterol, more heart attacks, more Alzheimer's. This just shows us that people are running out there and they're trying to do the right thing, but the stuff they're trying does not work. Most of the stuff they get on is just a trend that they can't do for the rest of their life. We have the answer to these problems. That's what we have in our hands, and it's very, very powerful. There are 4 stages of growth that any company in America goes through. Now, most companies will never make it out of what we call formulation stage. They'll never make it past the 5-year mark. Other companies, at that point, will go into concentration, and they'll never come out of that. They're just going to go along, and they're just going to be good companies, and that's it. Well, then you got other companies like Nike and Reebok. I mean, you can't build the stores fast enough for these places. You know, they went through an explosive growth cycle, and then they went into stabilization, you know, for the life of the company. Well, in our industry, 15 companies have went through major explosive growth cycles in America, and then they went on to stabilize at $1 billion or more in annual sales. Only 15 have ever done it. Well, all 15 had one thing in common. They got somewhere in the American market between 40 and 60 million, and then they shot off like a rocket. Well, where's Kivana in all of this? We're rapidly approaching that 40 million in annual sales, that projected 40 million. The experts are saying, you can see how close we are right this second. The experts are predicting that it's going to happen starting next month, the fourth quarter of this year, or the first quarter of next year. Definitely within the next 7 months, we're going to reach that target area of between the 40 to 60 million before we shoot off like a rocket. Another exciting reason to be involved in Kivana. Well, we have 7 ways that we make the money. If we take out the vacations, there are actually 6 ways that we get paid cash physically. Anyone can build a successful business because these are the 2 things that we're going to do, and this is all you have to do. The key to the compensation plan: 1, personally refer customers. 2, develop silver and silver pros. So if developing a silver and silver pro is one of the keys, let's go look what a silver is. A silver is this: just personally refer 2 customers who shop wholesale during the month. That's it. Now we're going to go out and we're going to build 2 teams. And we're going to build those 2 teams straight down. We're never going to go across. We're just going to go straight down. So you introduce Jack and you introduce Jill. Well, what happens when I want to introduce John? I have to put John under either Jack or Jill. That's it. That's called spillover. So if you want to do more than become a silver pro. Teaming up with others, that means you're going to be teaming up with your support team. We're all going to help you, and we're going to get about 12 more people in your business. You've still only referred 2, but at this point, you are a silver pro. The first month that you do that, you're going to earn about $745. But that's not the residual income because there's some one-time bonuses in there. So the ongoing average monthly earnings as a silver pro in Kivana is about $435 a month. You want to make more than that $435 a month? Let's become a gold. Now, as a gold, you're going to personally refer about 4 to 6 customers who shop wholesale during the month. We're going to team up. We're going to help one of those 4 people get the silver. What's the silver? The person I just introduced to. You're going to team up with us. We're going to get about 20 more people in your business. You're going to be a gold. Now, the month that you become a gold, because there are some one-time bonuses in there, you're going to make about $1,800. But from that point on, the average gold has a residual income, a money clock, that pays them almost $1,000 before they even get out of bed that month. That's a nice place to be in life. Well, if you would like your money clock to go up from that point on, you can see that the average monthly income as we go through the levels keeps going up and up and up. This chart that I'm showing you here right now only represents 5 out of the 6 ways that we get paid. The 6th and final way, you could quadruple all of these numbers because that's how much money is on the 6th and final way. Let me explain to you these first 5 ways here. You can see we get rapid advancement bonuses. You can see that we get monthly car bonuses. And you can see the only way for you to keep going up in levels is to keep introducing what's called personal customers and developing personal silvers. Those first 2 columns over there, the personal customers and personal silvers. You know, we actually had a person that became a diamond. She became a diamond in 8 weeks. Well, you can tell, what did she have to do? She had to enroll at least 12 personal customers. In that 8-week period, she actually introduced 18. Well, out of those 18 people, I went with some of them. Some of the other leaders went with some of them. And we helped 5 of them get to silver. We helped 3 of them get the silver star. And she, after 8 weeks, had an average income coming in of just a little bit under $10,000 each and every single month. Not a bad place to be after 8 weeks worth of work. How to get started. We enroll as an independent business owner for $45. Now that $45 is actually going to do 2 things for you. 1, it is going to allow you to, it's your 1-year membership fee that's paid in full. It allows you to shop wholesale at Kivana for the next 1 year. Now, if you have any interest in building the business, it's also taking care of that also. There's no separate fee if you want to build the business. It's all the same. Now you're going to place your first order. Now your first order will either be a starter package, a business package, or a complete business package. Let me show you the 3 packages real quick. There's a little starter pack on the right-hand side. And I tell people, look, if you can not do this one, don't do it. It's not a good way to come in because there's nothing for free in there. You get no business tools or anything. All you're doing is you're getting a slight introduction to all three of our systems, and you're not even getting all the product. Now, either the $500 business pack or the $1,000 complete business pack are a much better choice. Now, the $500 business pack, if you go with this one, there's $100 worth of stuff in there for free, so you can pass out samples. You didn't actually pay for them. And in addition to that, you're getting more product. You've almost got it all there. And you've actually got some starter business tools that are in there. The complete business pack has every product, got two of a lot of things, got the $100 worth of stuff for free, and you got every business tool there is. And if you do either one of the business packs, we're going to grandfather you in to that sixth and final way we get paid. You don't actually have to get up to a certain level. We'll just start paying you that immediately on day one. Now, I had already talked about the car bonuses. Once you get to platinum, there's $300 a month. I just want to point out that in our organization, I have now been with Kivana for 15 months. In our organization, we've had 5 people that have become platinums in the first 30 days that they were in the business. And we all did this on a part-time basis because you're going to keep doing what you're doing right now. And we're just going to team up with you on a part-time basis and help change your money clock from $0 to whatever amount that you would desire to change it to. Easy training. We have a unified training system. It's the same everywhere in the United States. Everybody has the same training in their back office. All certified master trainers, which I'm one of them. There's only 24 of them in the world. We all do the training the exact same way. We're all on the same page. We've taken the best of the best and we've put it together in what we consider the finest training system ever put together into a network marketing company. And then, there are a lot of experts. Since you've heard everything now, and once again, I didn't try to sell you, on any kind of hype or anything like that. I just merely presented you some facts. The facts are very exciting by themselves, is that there are a lot of experts out there that are predicting that Kivana will end up being the largest natural product company in the world. Our 5 owners, they got one company right now that's on its way to becoming another billion-dollar-a-year company. That company's Nature's Way, about ready to become the second largest retailer in the world in the all-natural product arena. 4 companies altogether they've put into the $1 billion plus in annual sales arena. So they've got the expertise to do this. The products are second to none. The price point is right. If you remember, the metabolic system is the cheapest weight loss system in America. Our Prime is the same price as what's on the market, and our Core, we can't even really compare it to anything. Our Probiotic is a real bargain. Okay, so the Black Swan is in place, and opportunities like this, they only come along once in a lifetime. So I'm going to leave it off this final page, and then we're all done. And hopefully I was done in exactly 35 to 40 minutes, just like I said I would. How can Kivana enhance your life? We have 3 categories here. And it does not matter what your answer is. If you say category 1, category 2, or category 3, seeing yourself in the first 30 to 90 days, that's the only reason we're asking the question. Because if you say category 2 or category 3, we just want to make sure that you're getting the proper support and the proper help. That's the only reason we're even asking this question. Because you can change your mind at any time and you're not even locked in anything. So a category 1 is the person who goes, you know what, Albert? In the first 90 days, I just see myself as a wholesale customer. That's it. I don't really want to even be bothered with this business. If I believe in the products after some time, then I will start to, refer some people, maybe. That's a category 1. A category 2, this is where we're going to team up. And we're going to go out and we're going to do 5 to 15 hours a week. And we're going to start earning $500 to $5,000 a month, depending on your time and your consistent effort. And then category 3, this is the person that says, you know what? I don't like where I'm at in life. I don't even like my job. We're going to team up a lot, and we're going to start making $5,000 to $20,000 a month. So somebody invited you on this webinar tonight, or maybe you're on this via phone. However you're here, you're invited because somebody loves you, and they had your best interest in mind. Maybe it was for financial reasons, and maybe it was for health reasons. Just merely give them a call and say, you know what? I see myself starting as a 1, a 2, or a 3. And if both people tonight are like, you're new, and the person that's introducing you to this is new, I'm going to type in my cell phone right here. So if anybody needs help, feel free over the next 10 minutes. You can call me on my cell phone, and I'll help anybody get started in the system tonight. So God bless, and everybody have a wonderful night. Yeah,